In today's episode of The Road to Grandmaster, we're talking about the newest panda on the patch, or well, back to the patch. It's Li Li, Damage Li Li to be specific, and why she's such a powerful hero at the moment. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome to the draft. As always, you can find timestamps in the description below to hop straight to the game, or with spoiler warnings attached, to hop straight to the talent build at the end. But yeah, in today's video, we are going to be looking at Li Li, and in particular, sort of like damage Li Li, really. Going into this draft here, it's kind of worth noting, Li Li, obviously, she's a support. No matter how you build her, she still does a fair whack healing, but to make the most out of her, I really feel like for the moment you definitely want to be picking her as the second support, not the solo support. For the most part. You have some more flexibility at lower levels of play for sure, but generally speaking, you want to be running her in the spot of one of your ranged damage dealers. So instead, you can even run her, I think in this game I run her in the spot of one of the warriors, but generally speaking, you want to be running her in the spot of one of your ranged damage dealers. It's kind of the same place that Tyrande or Tassadar would fit into the meta and into the drafts. So she does a lot of sustained range damage. She also does a lot of sort of slow sustained healing as well, which is really, really nice. I suppose some of the drawbacks for her, why do you want to run her in that second slot as opposed to that first slot? Enemy team banning out Lucio, by the way. Haha, little do they know we're going to be playing Li Li. Ha ha ha. I don't know. I feel like her healing is very slow. And, you know, because she does so much damage, she obviously doesn't do as much healing or have as much utility as other supports would have. I think that's what, like, really some of the main things. She doesn't have a lot of, like, her heroic, the Jug of 1,000 Cups, the healing heroic is as an oh shit button. It's over 6 seconds. It's pretty slow compared to, you know, Divine Palm or Ancestral, you know, Twilight Dream, Crystal Aegis, all of the big sort of impactful support heroics. Li Li doesn't exactly have that. I think that's part of it as well. So yeah, I think she's definitely underwhelming as a solo support, but you can see here we're going to pick her up with Uther. We're picking her up with a number of the sort of main healers works incredibly well. And in fact, you know, double support, as I said in the tier list, and I advise you guys to check that out as well. I was getting real hyped here because we locked in our heroes at the same time. I thought that was epic. Support synchronization, so good. As I said in the tier list, double support is like insane right now. Well, double healer, not double support specifically, but double healer, I think a bit more specifically is really like just, it's so strong right now. It's so strong. So in this case, we're going for Li Li and Uther. I think it's a nice combo. Again, Uther, he's got great burst healing and great protection against burst damage. He also has some CC, which is nice. And I think that actually synergizes pretty well with Li Li. Li Li has a lot of sustained healing. So whereas Uther can like do the big burst chunky armor applying heals in the team fight, we can keep that sort of consistent healing going to keep people a bit topped off. Also, as Li Li, we don't have much. We've got blinds, but we don't have any like hard CC per se. Uther has like a number of stunts at his disposal, so that's pretty nice as well. So it should synergize fairly well. We can also help Uther tanking at the front if we give him some extra heals. We can protect him a bit with blinds, that sort of stuff. So I think it should be a nice synergy. I think Li Li could also work really well with Oriel, of course, who also does loads of damage. She'd work well probably with Karazim, who's there in the enemy team. Probably work well with Rhaegar. I'm not sure about Malf, who's very popular. I'm sure she'd work well with Lucio. She's gonna work well with, like, you're not gonna go wrong really with Li Li, to be honest with you. And yes, you definitely want to combo her with like a main healer, a main support, and you're gonna be good. So we kind of wanted our team to pick a warrior and a solo laner. So this is what I was saying about like where I picked her in the spot of the draft. You can see we've got Vala, who's a range damage dealer, but she's very high damage range damage dealer. We have Uther as the main support. Then basically I picked Li Li in the spot of the second range damage. We effectively function as a range damage. A lot of sustained damage coming out from us at range. And then we can give extra support to hopefully our Bruiser and the Vala, help her be more aggressive. So we wanted a solo laner and a warrior. Solo laners, of course, typically being like a melee assassin or a Bruiser. This guy just wanted to play Nazeebo, so he just locked in that Nazeebo, who Nazeebo loses to Alarak like horrifically badly. So this should be interesting. And then we got ETC. So it's a bit somewhat wonky draft, but I think we'll get away with it. Again, Uther as a support. It's lucky we have Uther as a support, who is another sort of frontliner. So that will help a bit. Our late game is going to be pretty strong. With Li Li and Nazeebo, it's going to be kind of nuts. So it should be interesting. Enemy draft leaves a lot to be desired as well. I think Li Li's got a great matchup into Genji. Just makes it very hard for Genji to kill anyone. Blinds him as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Li Li probably outdamages Genji for them, like usually, unless he gets those resets or during his heroic. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna jump to the game. I'll catch you all there. Hey, all right, guys, welcome to the game. we're going on an adventure here. We're on Li Li, and yeah, we're gonna be building into damage, and we're gonna be trying to support our team and also put out like a lot of damage on the enemy team as well. We'll see how this goes in this game, and I'm going to talk you through kind of the theory of what I'm doing here. Nice thing about Li Li as well, of course, is that she's incredibly easy to play. I think that's part of what makes this damaged Li Li build so strong as well, is that a lot of ranged damage leaders are very difficult to play. I know I said that in like some tier lists before, and people are like, "Oh, dude, range is easy to play. Oh, what are you talking about?" Like it's so completely out of tune and out of whack what the actual reality is. Like ranged damage dealers are very, very difficult to play to their max potential. I'm sure you could play them like badly, like fairly easily, but like to actually get the most out of range is quite hard. So Li Li, in comparison, is extremely easy to play. She's got movement speed with her trait. Whenever you take damage, you get, I think it's 10% move speed for 1 second. Yeah, it's 10% move speed for 1 second. Adds up, especially when they do like kind of damage over time effects, that sort of thing. And then all of her abilities pretty much auto-target. So Nazeebo starts the game off by spamming pings, which is just really annoying. I've had this quite a lot. Since Heroes 2.0, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like some people coming back, but like I'm pretty much done with it at this stage. Like people spamming pings to try to like avoid being reported while still harassing their teammates. So I'm just really done with that. So I just like reported, like instantly muted this guy, and then when I got some time, I just reported him. I'm like, I'm done. Just like, no, stop being a dick. Anyway, yeah, like your blinds auto target, your heal auto targets, both of your heroics auto target, and then your W is like a simple point and click and forget about it. Like every 10 seconds. So there's really not too much going on in terms of your abilities. Like you simply don't have a skill shot. Everything auto targets. So that actually makes Li Li pretty easy to play. Like you can't precisely miss stuff. One thing you'll notice in the game is trying to get into positions to use the blinding winds. Basically in a team fight, you're going to be pressing Q mostly on cooldown. You have to be somewhat careful about your mana because you will burn through it as Li Li. You're going to press W on whoever's going to be closest to the fight, pretty much on cooldown. You're going to be pressing E on cooldown as well, and you want to try hit as many enemy heroes with that as possible without, compromising your position overly much. And that's basically it. Then you just want to like run around and not die. And there you go. You can play Li Li really well. So that's kind of all there is to it, which is, it's kind of handy. It's definitely a lot easier than, let's say, well, over here on the Vala, making the most out of your stutter stepping or like hitting your skill shots, anything like that, or like Genji, timing your engages, your resets, all that stuff properly. You don't have to worry about any of that. That's kind of like a nice little advantage you can bring. We're just gonna harass this Arthas a little bit, stop him getting the vision for at least a while. We're not gonna like pick a fight too much. Li Li also, she scales pretty well in terms of like dueling and solo laning and stuff like that, level 7. And let me talk about the taunts right now and why that is. So at level 1, we're going to grab Gale Force, which improves the damage of our Blinding Winds, which is our E, the blind, by 50%, which is a really huge amount. It's a really, really huge amount. That's very impactful. You can see it just does a big chunk of damage every time we hit someone here. Enemy team going deep, trying to pick up the fort's dead. Unfortunately, Genji is not dead. Very close to dead, though. At level 4, we grab Mass Vortex, which increases the number of enemies hit by Blinding Winds from 2 to 4. So that doubles the effectiveness of our E, basically, which is insanely strong. At level 7, we grab Lightning Serpent. We're coming up to that, and you'll see that in action as well. So our Cloud Serpent, our W, normally shoots people. Lightning Serpent makes the attack bounce to 3 nearby enemies and deals a small amount of damage. It's a very small amount of damage, really, but it does add up, all this bouncing around. So it's really nice for a bit of extra wave clear. It's really nice for a bit of extra team fight damage as well. You'll notice it really does add up. So we grabbed it here. It doesn't actually apply to the Serpent we've already cast, which is kind of interesting. But the next ones we cast will do that. And yeah, this is kind of like the trifecta of the basics of the damage Li Li build. And you'll see even the talents we get later in the game have massive synergies with that as well. Now, one of the things I kind of felt when I was playing this that I actually could have improved on in terms of the Li Li mechanics was using our E, using our Blinding Winds to wave clear a little bit more. And the reason is that, well, but you know, with the way Li Li used to be before, so they buffed her in the patch. That's why she's so strong now, is they buffed a lot of her abilities. The Blinding Winds, I think they reduced the cooldown by 2 seconds or something like that. It actually makes a big difference. So you're definitely much more able to use it for that wave clear now. Whereas before, I feel like the cooldown meant you wanted to be saving it more for trading with enemy heroes in the lane. Now you're much more able to use it a bit more offensively and aggressively, and especially with Gale Force and with Mass Vortex, those 2 talents, it adds up to a lot of extra damage and wave clear, which can be really nice. So I think that's definitely something I wasn't using enough. I should have been using my E more to clear the waves, but definitely something I learned and kind of implement next time. See here, we're able to push forwards. Our blinds are pretty damn strong. I mean, like the blind itself, it's a 2-second blind that basically can't miss the enemy hero. Mass Vortex, that talent, hitting 4 targets, it does prioritize heroes, so this makes it much easier to land, especially relevant against range damage dealers. Obviously now, like melee heroes are very easy to hit with your Blinding Winds. It's much more difficult. Let's say they got a Rainer or a Vala. It's a lot more difficult to hit them if you're only hitting 2 targets. I mean, they basically have to not have 2 heroes closer to you in melee, or you have to go like crazy out of position. It's basically like non-existent. It blinds as a counter without this talent to ranged heroes. But once you do pick it up, you're going to be really good against ranged heroes. So you can see here, it looks like they're trying to engage on our teammate. So we're going to throw out the blind, try to keep him alive. He does go down, but we pick up a kill in return. That actually worked out pretty much as best for us as we could have hoped. Fortunately, ETC did miss the last couple of shots on the thing, but it doesn't overly matter. Hopefully he doesn't die. But yeah, basically this happened. There was just some pressure around the map, and Nazebo went around to soak. So that's why we hit level 10, and beautiful mosh pit from ETC catches the entire enemy team. Vala is just plugging away, picking up kills, taking names. We're doing our healing stuff, and we pick up another few kills. So that is really good. That went really well for us. It was looking very dodgy there for a second when Nazebo left to go soak the lanes, and then I think it was Zul was in the other lane soaking for the enemy team. He rotated down, so then we were outnumbered, and we're a little bit slow backing off that point, the temple. So it almost paid a big price for it, but hitting level 10 then, it actually worked out okay. But yeah, it was definitely risky there for a little bit. I mean, if someone goes to soak, you have to be very safe and careful. And, you know, you could maybe just give up the temple or something instead. It's kind of one of those funny situations where level 10 was so close. It was kind of, it was a bit nuts there for a bit. But we survived, and that's the main thing, thanks to ETC's mosh pit. At level 10 then, I did pick up Jug of 1,000 Cups. Now, the standard is Water Dragon, okay? The damaged Li Li build, the standard pickup is Water Dragon. That's what most people are going for. I think Jug should be a little bit better. I think the reason Water Dragon is so strong is, again, it's like it's a non-skill shot ability, effectively. It just hits the nearest enemy hero after you channel for 2 seconds, so you can really abuse it and do a lot with that. This is a pretty big fight here. This is kind of crazy. We're a little bit late getting over the whole team, so we actually lose out on that one. ETC does go down, unfortunately, despite all the healing that we've got here. Uther didn't manage to get in to use Divine Storm, so that definitely hurt a bit. But anyway, yeah, Water Dragon, so you channel for 2 seconds, it lands, does a big chunk of damage, and it's a 70% slow for 4 seconds, which is actually nuts. It's a massive slow, so it adds a lot of kill pressure to Li Li. It's actually a pretty big deal, but we're not going to run with that in this game. I'm actually running with Jug of 1,000 Cups in this game. So this is like a 6-second channel. It does kind of like a moderate amount of healing per second to your most injured allied hero within range, and it's a very big range. But it does let you do a lot of healing. It does a lot of healing. And this is particularly chosen because of the heroes involved in this particular game. If you look at our team, we've got crazy strong sustain. I mean, ETC heals himself. We've got Uther, we've got Li Li, and then we've got crazy sustain damage from Vala and Nazeebo. That Counter-Strike, I think, just hit our entire team. Nice. Like, we got crazy sustained damage. So we're really and crazy sustained healing as well. So we're very much looking for very long fights. We're going to dominate long fights. Like, Li Li is just insane in long fights. And so are nearly all of our heroes. The enemy team, in contrast, they've got a lot of burst, but they're going to lose these longer fights quite badly. Like, they've got Genji. If they burst someone down, it's going to go pretty well. You know, Alarak pulls someone into a combo. Arthas roots them. Karazim jumps in, does some burst. Genji jumps in, does his burst. They get resets, and then they kind of take it from there. So they very much want to burst someone down. But if they never manage to burst someone down and kind of get that initial kill, they're going to have a very weak team fight. Like, we should just wreck them in a team fight, basically. We've got so much more sustain than they do. So that's basically why I picked up Jug of 1,000 Cups here. I kind of said, well, I'd rather have all that sustained healing. You can see that we could have actually won this fight down here, but Nazeebo's gonna do bruisers instead, and he's kind of failing at it. But yeah, we basically give up this whole temple because Nazeebo decided to go do bruisers. So that's a lot of loss of map control. It's not necessarily a bad idea, but I thought for a second there he was just totally gonna fail at actually taking the bruisers. That would have been bad. Nice done by ETC, and now poor old Zul is in a terrible spot. He's just being absolutely melted, and down he goes. Karazim will rise, but it's too late. It's a 7-sided strike Karazim anyway, so it's going to be too late no matter what. But yeah, it's a nice little kill for us. It's actually a good opportunity to take the boss. But it turns out the enemy team is doing their siege camp, so we're going to go stop that instead. But yeah, this would have been a very good boss opportunity. However, the enemy team is engaging here. They're taking a big fight again. We should win this fight pretty dramatically. Unfortunately, everyone is splitting all over the place. If Vala had been a little bit closer, I think would have been okay. Obviously, the idea for her was to split away from Genji and his heroic. But yeah, the enemy team won that. They really shouldn't have won that. I mean, it was a 5v4. We were way ahead. I really do think we could have taken the boss while they had a dead hero. I think our team fight is stronger. And you know, they were down a hero, so that kind of adds up to us winning that fight. And then that it was just kind of the way we played that particular fight over the Siege Giants. The Genji worked well. He got a nice flank, and the positioning was kind of split, and it worked out okay. It was interesting, that fight. It's very, very interesting. But we did walk away losing it. Like, losing 2 heroes to killing 1 hero getting a siege camp isn't worth it. So that's definitely something to note. Arthas is almost dead, but he does have Army of the Dead pop, so he's getting loads of healing. ETC goes in for a big mosh pit. We're going to be able to throw out a blind here, which will hopefully keep him alive for a little bit longer. We're doing as much damage as we can. Vala arrives, and she starts wrecking fools. Big root from Arthas here. We're going to come in, throw the blinds through the enemy team again. We actually get taken out, but this should be good for us, I think. Yep, there we go. Alright, nice. So that's part of why I was staying kind of far forwards in the fight and pushing in aggressively. It's just that knowledge of... well, we have all the sustained damage. Now, ETC, it's a really big mistake, I feel, for ETC to Hearthstone here. Our teammates are all really low. I really think he should... it's unlikely that Arthas is going to do anything. But just in case, I don't think it matters that much. He could just burn down that boss. I really think he should stay and burn down that boss as quickly as possible. Make sure there's no threat to it being taken. Then you can Hearthstone and take the temples. We should have the temples anyway. It worked out fine. In this case, there were so many enemy heroes dead, and there were 3 of us, so it was okay. But I think that's definitely the sort of situation where I have to point out a warning and say, you need to be careful about this one. This could go very badly if you're not careful. You're better off just take the boss with as many people as possible in that case, because you don't gain all that much from Hearthstoning there. You save maybe a couple of seconds. I don't know, you'd probably honestly save more time just grouping up and taking the boss. I don't know. Anyway, to mention our other talents, because they are a very big deal and very, very strong. A level 13 Searching Winds. So this gives us 5% spell power for 8 seconds for every enemy hero hit by our Blinding Winds. Okay, so because we took up Mass Vortex at level 4, which makes our Blinding Winds hit 4 heroes, we can get 4 stacks of this. So if we hit the whole enemy team with our blinding wind, well, you know, the 4 max heroes with their blinding winds, we get 20% extra spell power for 8 seconds. So our heals heal for 20% more. All of our abilities hit for 20% more. It's kind of insane. It's kind of insanely strong. We're gonna do just 20% more damage and healing, basically, which is a massive deal. At level 16 then, I picked up Serpent's Sidekick. Nice stun by Uther, locks down that Genji, puts him in a rough spot. We're just gonna spam all of our healing. Enemy team is trying to do what they can. We're going to get another blind off here, hitting all 4 heroes and getting those 4 stacks. You can see it in the bottom left. 4 stacks of extra damage. Really, really nice. And as we push down, blam, that's another hero dead. Look at our health bars. Okay. We just fought a 5v5 team fight. We killed 3 of the enemy team. Our entire team is on full health. Like, that is how much healing and how much sustain we have. When we get into the longer team fight with the enemy team, especially as we keep scaling into the late game, we just, you know, yes, it's a bit scary with that initial burst of damage, but once we sustain through it, we will just overrun them. Pretty much no problem. I think we can go core here. I'm going to go core here anyway. So level 16 Serpent Sidekick. We get level 20, of course, destroying the keep. So that's why we got Bruiser Camp. We got a big minion wave. Enemy team is still dead for a little while. We got level 20 Nazebo, level 20 Li Li. I think we can go core. That's why I'm pushing in. Team does follow up a couple of seconds later. Serpent Sidekick at 16. Whenever we cast our Cloud Serpent on an ally, we get it cast on ourselves for free. So that makes your W literally twice as good, which is insane. And then at level 20, Kung Fu Hustle. While Fast Feed, our trait is active. So whenever we take damage, our cooldowns refresh 150% faster for that second. So we basically get way more abilities off. You can see our cooldowns, just watch them here. They're ticking down insanely fast. We're getting off tons of blinds. You can see we burned through our entire mana bar. Uther going in for the kill. And he gets him. He gets him. And there you go. The core goes down as well. You can see kind of the power of our team comp. The enemy team had a really bad draft, honestly, is a huge part of it. They had a terrible draft. But yeah, this is the amount of sustain our team has. We hit level 20, taking out the keep, and we're able to just go enemy core. They try to fight us, and we just kill their entire team again. We lose 1 hero, and we take out the core. Like, that's just how powerful our scaling was. And you could see the impact of that late game Li Li. It's absolutely insane. Her talents are absolutely insane. They're so strong. He scales so well in this hero. Like, Mass Vortex doubles the damage of your blinding winds. That's crazy. You get like 50% damage here and there. Just 20% more damage in healing whenever you press E, basically. Serpent Sidekick doubles the value of your Cloud Serpent. You just get 2 of them. Both of them shooting the bouncing Lightning Serpent attacks. And then Kung Fu Hustle. You just get way more Cloud Serpents, way more blinds, way more heal, just way more everything. You can see the damage, 57,000. We did way more damage than Nazebo. We did almost as much damage as Vala. And we did a whole chunk of healing on top of that. It's, yeah, Li Li she's pretty damn powerful, to say the least. Now, she is very much a sustained hero. And this was one of, you know, I feel like this game, it ended up being the perfect pick. It fit the draft really well. But you'll still have that in other games. But she is very much sustained, so do watch out for that. Like, her value comes over the course of a very long time. Just this steady, very high damage output with her Cloud Serpents and her blinds. You know, just the value of blinds over the course of a team fight and the value of all those slow heals. So yeah, longer fights, you're gonna just do so much. It's crazy. But just watch out for that in terms of compositions. That's the one thing to watch out for. She's not that good at objectives and stuff like that. But yeah, there you go, guys. There's the talent build on the left-hand side. Should be buttons to subscribe to the channel and check out another video on the right-hand side. Give it a thumbs up as well if you liked the video. Let me know what you think of Damage Li Li. Let me know what you found about Water Dragon as well. Obviously, I didn't... Oh, my alarm's going off. That's my get up and start recording stuff alarm. And I'm already doing it. I'm so good. Yeah, let me know what you think of Water Dragon Heroic, because obviously in this one we went for Jug, but Water Dragon is the more standard one. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time for more Here's the Storm. Bye-bye.